Good day and welcome back to Max and Dave Horsemanship again today. And today we are going to talk about, well, dealing with adversity in a way. And when it comes to your horses, sometimes things just don't go as planned. And, well, I got a whole bunch of things like that right now happening. And it's got a lot to do with my videos. Unfortunately, I've been having problems with my camera. I've been having problems with my computer. My computer died and I had to buy a new one. The editing software doesn't work with that one. I had to use a new program. I don't understand that, or the operating system on the computer worth a darn. So if you notice a little bit of change in my videos, well, that's probably why. I'm not doing things exactly the same as I used to, unfortunately. Now, the other problem, of course, was last time I did a video, the camera for some reason messed up as well, and it recorded in all kinds of strange formats that the computer didn't understand. And, well, we've just been having all kinds of problems, and so I just thought I'd share that with you. If you've noticed a difference in my videos recently, well, that's why. Things aren't exactly the way we'd like them to be, but they're what they are. And, you know, sometimes you got to deal with things just the way they are, and it's the same with horses, you know. Sometimes things don't go as planned. Your tack breaks, or the horse misbehaves, or all kinds of strange things can happen that you just weren't counting on. And, well, it just doesn't always work. Not the way you'd expect it to anyhow. But you have to overcome, and you have to be willing to deal with what's in front of you. And that's the same thing with, when you're training a horse. Sometimes the things that are presented to you on a particular day have nothing to do with what you were planning on working on, and next thing you know, you're doing something entirely different than what you'd planned. That's okay though, because it's what's in front of you, it's what you have to deal with, and that's what you're going to have to do. You might thought, well, today I'm going to work on mounting on my horse, and well, the horse doesn't even want to be caught. Well, you got to work on that long before you can even think about mounting the horse. So that's just kind of what I wanted to. I just wanted to let you know we're having some problems, so bear with me. Hopefully, we can get things sorted out a little bit. I don't know what went on last time I tried doing a video. It was just horrible. Aside from the fact I've already been having problems with the computer and the editing software, and now we're having problems with the camera. Hopefully today that's not going to be a problem, and this video will actually work. But like I said, sometimes when you're working with your horse, things are like that too. What is in front of you is not necessarily what you're planning on doing, but it's what you have to do. And there's an old saying, I can't remember who said it, but it was basically you deal with the horse that's in front of you today. And each day these horses may present different problems. Last time I was out here, there was a couple of them that wanted nothing to do with me. Well, today I have absolutely the opposite problem. I can't keep them away from me when I'm on the other side of that fence, which is why we're doing our video on this side of the fence, because it just makes life so much simpler. Because, well, there's one in particular, he's a little over social, and he'll be poking at my camera and knocking things over and getting in between me and the camera, and it doesn't work well. And he's not my horse, so I can't really do a whole lot about it as far as training him to behave himself. But those are the kinds of things that you're going to have to deal with. It won't necessarily be what you had planned. You might think, no, I'm going to go do this, that, or the other thing today, and while all of a sudden your horse presents you with a completely different scenario, and you're going to have to deal with that. So that's kind of the message of this video, is you got to deal with what's in front of you. And if it means a camera or computer or editing software that doesn't work right, oh well, that's what we got to deal with. If it's a horse that presents you with problems, that's what you got to deal with. And if it's the weather, well, not much you can do about that except put on more clothes. And please, somebody put in a word with Mother Nature, man. It's almost the end of March now, and it's still well below freezing up here. And as you can see, there's lots of snow around. And what you're seeing back there behind me, that's not where it's piled up either. That's actually pretty mild back there. It's a lot worse behind the camera. If I was to turn the camera around, you'd see a whole lot more. And those are things we're dealing with. And other people are already complaining it's too warm. Depends on where you live, I guess. So, No two places are the same, no two situations are the same, no two people are the same, no two horses are the same. So, you gotta, vary things a little bit. And, even the way I do things might not necessarily be what's best for you. Although I like to think that I've kind of got things figured out pretty good and some pretty good ways of doing stuff. No guarantees. You might come up with something in your little mind that, I never thought of, and maybe it works just as good, if not better. Because I'm not beyond learning. I don't care how much you get to know about horses. You're never beyond learning. And even not long ago, I was watching somebody else's videos, and he did something that I do, but he did it a little bit differently than I did, and it proved to be quite effective. And I kind of thought, well, that's a little odd, but I'm going to keep that in my back pocket just in case. And well, sure enough, it wasn't long after that I was working with a horse that my way of doing things didn't work. So I thought, well, let's try this other guy's way of doing it. It's pretty similar, but just enough different. Maybe it's going to register to the horse, because sometimes that's all that makes a difference. It's just a tiny little bit, And sure enough, I tried this other guy's way, and it worked like a charm. And well, I'll mention that to you too, is that sometimes when you're having a problem, it's just something very, very tiny that you're doing just a little different than what that horse needs. Not saying it's wrong, but sometimes it's just a tiny bit different, just a little wee bit. Not much, but to the horse it can make a huge difference. Well, as you can see, they're all lined up at the fence there, waiting for me to come over and say hi to them. So I got to go back in there again and say hi to the horses for a while, because for some strange reason they seem to like me. Have a good day.